Viewers, today I'm going to start by saying something that I know will be panned as a cover-up attempt. But it still needs to be said because it's the harsh truth. Unfortunately for us, in India, politics has reached such a stage where even a crime like rape is considered worth your attention and outrage only when it suits your politics. But before I go any further, let's make one thing absolutely clear. Because this is exactly what people who don't want to hear the harsh truth are going to say. Oh, this is a clean chit. It's a cover-up. It's whataboutery. She's giving cover fire. This is not a defense for the inaction on part of the Manipur government. It's a fact that for 77 days they failed miserably to make arrests in the horrific case of the disrobing and gang rape of women. They cannot escape that responsibility. What has happened in Manipur is indefensible and a dereliction of duty on part of the state. Accountability for that must be fixed. But it's rich for people who have not batted an eyelid, not said one word when crimes have taken place on their watch, who have called victims of sexual violence liars. It's rich for those people to today pretend that they care for women, that they are outraged when crimes are committed against women. Because, my dear friends, it becomes absolutely clear then that your concern is not concern. It is pure, unadulterated, opportunistic politics, which won't get 2 cents if the same crime was to happen in your state. You will not say a word. You will not even instruct your police to take action. In fact, you will try to shame the victims into silence. We've brought these cases to you again and again. But let's tell you the latest. And it comes from the state of West Bengal yet again. The same Trinamool Congress that has spoken up for everything from UP to Tripura to Manipur. It remains silent when 2 BJP workers filed police complaints about being assaulted during the Panchayat elections in West Bengal. The first complaint is from the 14th of July. It was filed by a Gram Sabha candidate who alleged that she was stripped and paraded in Howrah. The FIR makes for a chilling read. It says that she was hit on the head and her chest with sticks by TMC cadre, who then tore off her clothes till she was naked. And then they started molesting her. She says this attack took place on the 8th of July. Her party claims that initially the police even refused to file a complaint till the time that they exerted political pressure. That's one case. The second case, the second complaint, was filed on the 19th of July about an assault that took place on the 11th of the same month. Here, another candidate said that she was touched inside a counting room by a TMC candidate who also beat her up. But today, when we questioned the state police about the case, the DGP, no less, the DGP stopped just short for calling it a fabrication.
14 तारीख की सवेरे एक थाने में FIR दर्ज किया गया आउटरेज ऑफ फीमेल मॉडेस्टी कॉजिंग इंजरी और विभिन्न जितने सेक्शन उचित थे सब उस पे लगा करके FIR किया गया और इसके साथ ही में इस केस का इन्वेस्टिगेशन स्टार्ट कर दिया गया था। इन्वेस्टिगेशन के अंदर जो चीज़ें अभी तक निकल के आई हैं उनका सबसे पहले मैं सबसे जो ज़रूरी सार है वो यही बोलना चाहूँगा कि अभी तक इसका जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया गया है उसमें इस तरह का कोई भी तथ्य सामने नहीं आया जिससे कि ये प्रमाणित हो सके कि इस प्रकार की कोई भी घटना घटी थी।
The anger against crimes against women should be unequivocal. If you're angry at what happened in Manipur, you have all the right to be. You should be. You should ask for the Chief Minister's resignation. as should be the concern for justice. It should be even-handed. Ask for accountability from all. Because remember, rape is a heinous crime. You cannot allow it to become political fodder for somebody's campaign. And can any of this outrage be taken as sincere if the parties who today are disrupting Parliament, who are sending fact-finding commissions, when they look at this crime only through the lens of their politics? That's the question I want to take across to Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Colonel Hani Bakshi, Vishesh Seva Medal and former commander of the TSD, is also joining us, along with Dr. Syed Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK, Manoj Kaka, spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, lawyer Kapil Madan. But my first question is to State Vice President and spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, JP Majumdar. Mr. Majumdar, I actually want you to listen to the husband of the lady who filed a complaint in Howrah. He is saying today that he feels that this is not even India. The state that he lives in is not even a part of India, and he is scared for his very life. His wife has been disrobed and paraded, and he is now scared for the life of his family, his wife, and his children. I want you to first listen to this man, sir, and then respond.
আমার ওয়াইফকে ক্যান্ডিডেট আমি করেছিলাম। আমি এই বুথে এই অঞ্চলের শক্তি কেন্দ্রের প্রমুখ বিজেপির পক্ষ থেকে। আমি এই ঘটনা কোনোদিন চোখে দেখিনি। আমি এই ঘটনা নিয়ে কোনো রকম কিছু বলতে পারছি না। ঘটনার সময় অনেক কিছু তো ঘটনা ঘটে গেছে, কি বলবো এসব নিয়ে কিছু বলতে গেলে। আমি যে এলাকায় বাস করি, আমার বাস করা খুব কঠিন ব্যাপার। আপনারা এসছেন আমার কাছে ভালো, আজকে আমি বাড়িতে দাঁড়িয়ে আপনাদের কাছে স্টেটমেন্ট দিচ্ছি, কিন্তু আমি এলাকায় বেরোতে গেলে আমার ভয় হচ্ছে। আমার ছোটো ছোটো ছেলে মেয়ে, তাদের ঘরে কী করে বাঁচাবো? আমার ছেলেদের ঘরে যদি না বাঁচাতে পারি, আমার ছোটো ছোটো ছেলে মেয়েরা স্কুল যাচ্ছে, এ করছে, কী করে যাবে? যে স্কুল যে জায়গায়, সেই জায়গায় যেন আমার মনে হচ্ছে পাকিস্তানের বর্ডার। দল আমার পাশে আছে, দল থাকবে। না না, সেরকম আমার কাছে কোনো খবর নেই। পুলিশ কোনো কিছু কাজ করছে বলে আমার কাছে কোনো খবর নেই।
The man you just heard is the husband of a woman who said she was stripped and paraded naked. Thank you for outraging about what's happening in Manipur, Mr. Majumdar. Will you also demand a debate on what happened in Howrah in July this year?
Padmaja, I only hope that you will not intercept me during my 2 minutes version of the event. Please, I request you. The blatant fact is alleged incident took place on 8th of July, election day. Within the, what they have alleged, that within a booth. Number 2, the allegation or complaint made on 13th of July by email, not directly to police station, and the email was sent from a BJP email ID, not from that who is making the accusation or alleging that thing. Number 3, on next day, FIR was lodged. It's not that police was sitting on it. As you have shown, the police said that they have investigated, and most importantly, the woman and her family member were called for giving the statement. The way the normal cases should proceed, they have refused to give statement. Number 3. Number 4, by that time until yesterday, 2 BJP political fact-finding team have visited that place, very place, and along with media. There is nothing to worry about. BJP fact-finding team, along with media, they were going to ask all these things, and she is claimed to be a BJP person. Has she made complaint to those BJP fact-finding team? No, not that. Padmaja, neither of the team. No, listen. I
Mr.
know.
Majumdar, how many arrests have been made? How many arrests have been made? Here is the complaint.
I am coming.
Here is the complaint which has been made on the 14th. 8th of July is when the assault happened. We are right now, 8th of July is when the assault has happened. How many arrests have been made?
Assault not happened. Assault not happened. She is lying. The Rocket Chatterjee made her pathetic acting. What was her previous profession?
What are you saying? Are you saying assault has not happened? Your voice is breaking, sir.
That is what police said. And why she did not put the same complaint to BJP fact-finding team? Answer me. Only one thing you want to
Hold on a second. Mr. Majumdar, just to be clear, you're saying assault hasn't happened. You're saying she's lying.
Yes. Yes.
You're saying that the woman who was stripped and paraded is lying.
She is not lying. No. She is not lying. I am saying that particular complaint was made by BJP, not her. And BJP wanted to make that thing, they could not control. And if that thing happened, that woman should, it's a naturally, when the BJP fact-finding team went there, and one team
Let's
was
listen. For the first time, here is the lady who in Howrah, South Panchala, filed a complaint that she was stripped. Mr. Majumdar is saying the BJP is using her. Listen to the lady from the horse's mouth. She is speaking for the first time. Is she lying? Is she being used by the BJP? Listen to the lady herself.
তো বারবার ধরে আর বলতে পারছি না, তবুও বলছি সেই দিনকে মানে বুট থেকে আমাকে টেনে হিজড়ে চুলের মুঠি ধরে সিঁড়ি থেকে ফেলে দিয়েছিল, আমার আঁচলটা ধরে টেনে ছিঁড়ে দিয়েছিল। আমি পাশের বাড়ি একজনের কাছ থেকে গিয়ে একটা কাপড় ছিঁড়ে পরে আসি বাড়িতে, এটুকুনি আমার বলে, আমি আর বেশি কিছু বলতে পারছি না।
আর তোমার স্বামী কোথায় ছিল ওই দিন?
আমার স্বামী না থাকলে হয়তো আমাকে অন্য কিছু করেই ফেলতো। আমার স্বামী গিয়ে সেই মুহূর্তে আমাকে টেনে নিয়ে চলে আসে ওই জায়গা থেকে।
ওই জন্য তুমি এফআইআর করেছিল?
হ্যাঁ করেছিলাম।
এবার আগে
You heard it from her own mouth, Mr. Majumdar. She is saying they caught hold of my hair, they threw me out of the booth, mera aanchal phad diya. I had to take a piece of cloth from a house close by. I covered myself in that cloth and I came back home. And the DGP of your state is saying, we didn't find any CCTV footage. Why didn't the lady come and record her statement? Her husband is saying, I am scared for my life. You expect him to go to a police station where he thinks he could be killed on the way. Why aren't you sending a police team to her house to record her statement?
Padmaja, can I will just give my reply. Just listen to it. It was a counting center, you said, and she also said a counting center. By the order of High Court, each of the counting centers were manned by central police, central government forces, and there was CCTV footage.
No, this is not counting center. This is the day of the voting. This is not counting center. You are talking about the second case. No, Mr. Majumdar, you don't know. I will tell you, the first incident has taken place at Panchala booth number 196. This has happened inside the booth 196. And I think
that
we
I
should...
have already answered.
No.
I have already answered.
So I am...
That
in booth number 196, with extreme shame, I wish to inform you that on voting day around 11 a.m., the TMC candidate Himanta Roy, son of Khagen Roy, anti-social leader Alfi Sheikh, Sukamal Panja, son of Sanyasi Panja, Rajbir Panja, son of Govind Panja, Sanju Das, son of Panchu Das, and a mob of 40 to 50 people attacked me vehemently, threw me out of the booth, and upon the instructions of Himanta Roy, Alfi Sheikh and Sukamal Panja stripped me completely, touched me in my private parts and molested me. After I shouted for help, some people in the next house offered me their own clothes. This resulted in agony. This is the FIR. I am reading out the FIR, sir. Here.
You are reading out the email complaint on which FIR made. The complaint was made on 13th of July, number one.
So?
13th of July, the number complaint was made.
No, sir, it is the 14th. It's right here. The date is here. It's the 14th of July, 2023.
Okay, 14th. That is that the incident happened on 8th of July. The complaint was made on 14th of July and through email. And after that, when BJP even fact-finding team went there, she never thought that it is proper to complain to BJP fact-finding team.
What is your point, sir? So what?
It is
so what if the complaint was made on the 14th of July?
BJP people, it is written on instruction of Shubhendu Adhikari, who said, I know how to put 355. It's the whole instruction of the local BJP people to maintain the image of Bengal. These are fabricated, and that's why they are not going to the police station or magistrate to record. Despite several attempts, they are refused to go to magistrate to put their version in front of the magistrate. That is the thing.
Mr. Majumdar,
So,
Mr.
only
Majumdar,
making complaints, going to the national TV and parliament and making one narrative, false narrative. It's pathetic.
I am very happy you spoke. I'm very happy you spoke, Mr. Majumdar, for only one reason. And that reason is, I think you have exposed very effectively what nobody else could have. You have sat here for the last 13 minutes and discredited a woman who spoke of being disrobed as an agent of the BJP. You have spoken of her as somebody trying to fashion a false narrative. You have said that she is responsible for spoiling the image of Bengal, and now you're smiling, sir. This is exactly what was said after the 2nd of May 2020, when we personally ran those stories of women who were gang raped by TMC cadre after post-poll violence. And this is the reason why, my friends, when you hear politicians pontificating and waxing eloquent about what's happening in Manipur, please be angry, but don't believe them. Because your anger is genuine, their anger is opportunism. They will not care if you are in West Bengal and God forbid something happens to you. They will tell you that you are a liar and an agent of the BJP, because it doesn't suit them to stand in parliament and say what is happening in Bengal is wrong. And that is the pathetic reality of our country right now. It's pathetic that people have to speak out and say, I'm not a liar, or they have to go to the Supreme Court. Anyhow, Sanju Verma, respond to what's happening in Bengal, then I'll come to you more specifically on Manipur. Yes.
Thank you. Padmaja, on Bengal, I will just say that Locket Chatterjee has given the entire sequence of events in a press conference as to what happened in, Panchala. But more importantly, I'm appalled, ashamed, but I'm not the least bit surprised at the TMC panelists' behavior and demeanor on national television, because I've been in a couple of debates with the TMC panelists in the last 24 hours. They say offense is the best form of defense. But in the case of TMC, I have to say very shamefully that denial is the best form of defense. That is what they shamefully believe in. I just have this to ask the TMC panelist. He said, why was a statement under section 164 of the CRPC not given in front of the magistrate by the victim? So I want to ask the panelists here from TMC, when Suvo Rani Mandal, a 84-year-old woman, was brutally beaten black and blue and she succumbed to her injuries and died, what was her fault? That she was the mother of Kamal Nath Mandal, one of the BJP heads of a local Zilla Parishad. She gave a statement under CRPC 164. Have you still arrested the perpetrators? No. When the Hamsakhali gang rape happened last year, I was on a zillion debates, and this video of Mamata Banerjee berating, mocking and making fun of the victim is out in the public domain. Who was the perpetrator in the Hamsakhali gang rape? It is a TMC councillor's son. And the probe is with the CBI, despite Mamata Banerjee trying her level best to say, Hamsakhali mein kuch hua hi nahi, there was no gang rape. The girl actually is complaining because it's a love affair gone wrong. Point number 3, and my last point. You said that there was no post-poll violence in 2021. The then acting Chief Justice of the Kolkata High Court, Rajesh Bindal, on the 21st of August, actually these are his words. He said the West Bengal dispensation, including police, attempted to take the investigation to a predestined conclusion, and they upheld the National Human Rights Commission, which said that out of 3,700 143 incidents of post-poll violence. FIR was registered in only 137, and even those people were let go in a span of less than 24 hours. Kolkata High Court has repeatedly called out the bluff of Mamata Banerjee, but her minions shoot and scoot. This is the strategy that they adopt on national television, completely doing an eyewash of the horrific lawlessness that prevails in the state today.
Okay, respond to that, Mr. Majumdar. And I won't even go back into history, because this, unfortunately, what you're talking about, a false narrative being crafted. Everything cannot be dismissed by saying false narrative. They have a problem with the image of Bengal. These are Bengali women. These are women who belong to your state. They are nobody coming from outside. You remember the Park Street rape case? Do you remember a member of parliament, Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar, said it was a deal gone wrong between the lady and her client? Yes. When that lady died, she said, I forgive you, but I won't forget what was said about me. Do you remember in 2012, because we have followed this very closely, in 2012, there was the rape of a woman in Burdwan district. The then Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, said, this is fake. Media is fighting for TRPs and cooking up fake news. But let's not go into history. Let's just take to these two women. These two women who in July, before yesterday's outrage started, in July said, one of them on the 19th of July, one of them on the 14th of July. What did this lady say on the 19th of July? Here's what she said. I'm a candidate of BJP, hereby complaining to you that on the 11th of July, during the time of vote counting at Azad Hind Fauj Counting Hall, X residing at Benpada, Howrah, and Y residing at Puber Bagan, Makarda, they touched the secret part of my body throughout the counting as well as beaten me during the counting. I would like to request you to please check the CCTV footage of the entire counting for room number 2, table number 9, which will provide you the evidence of the said incident. Women have told you that this happened. Mr. Majumdar, everything cannot be a narrative. Please be angry for everything.
No. Padmaja, yeah, you made a very long monologue. Portraying about West Bengal. Thank you for that. I would add one point before coming to your question, that I remember Smriti Irani sending churis to Manmohan Singh for Nirbhaya case.
You talk about Mamata Banerjee.
No, you have impatient. You impatient. Don't show impatience. And I wonder how many churis now Smriti Irani will send to Narendra Modi ji for Manipur case. Having said that, I want to point out one thing, that these allegations are made just after, the incident happened, like in the counting center. There were CCTV footage, agreed, but in addition, there were central forces to man that. Was there any allegations made to the central forces present there? That is very important. At that point of time, or whether she...
Sir, the complaint has been made to the police. I don't understand. Why are you hiding behind the central forces and the, and the BJP fact-finding committee? She has gone to the police. Sir, the police will investigate if molestation...
You advocated for central forces in Bengal.
Yes, to stop the violence. But the investigation in the case of rape will be done. Mr. Majumdar, you are such a seasoned politician. You know it better than I that the CISF or CRPF or BSF is not going to investigate rape or molestation. It will be the state police. Just like it was the job of the Manipur police to investigate the disrobing of these two women in Manipur.
I have heard you. I am asking you, Padmaja, suppose you put yourself, central forces are there, surrounding and manning the counting center. If anything happened to you, wouldn't you go to complain to the central
I will go to the police because I am a resident of West Bengal and law and order and investigation of crime is the job of the state police. Let me take your example, sir. Hold on a second. Let me take your example. Let me take your example. Hold on. It is a total fig leaf that you are using. I'll tell you how. The excuse you are using right now would be as facile as the Biren Singh government in Manipur saying, right now there are central forces in Manipur as well, Mr. Majumdar. There is the Assam Rifles there. Can the Biren Singh government say, oh, nothing happened because if something would have happened, they would have gone and told the central forces, right? No. It is the job of the Manipur police to have ensured that people were arrested. And it was the job of your police to ensure that these people were arrested. And you didn't do it. So you, sir, please also accept responsibility. I'll give you 30 seconds also to respond. I really must open this up because this is a much wider debate. Yes.
Spokesperson of BJP, don't act.
You cannot, sir, ultimately hide behind the same smokescreen. Oh, you know, this is an attempt to defame my state. Oh, you are acting as spokesperson. I have no qualms in saying that the BJP government in Manipur needs to answer for what happened in Manipur, and your government needs to answer for what happened in Howrah. You, the TMC, need to answer as well. Please do not fake any kind of ignorance.
Padmaja, there is fact versus fabrication. Fact versus fabrication. That is the difference.
Let me play out again the husband of this lady and the lady herself, and the viewers can decide what is fact and what is fabrication. They must speak for themselves, because imagine, I'm just playing it out again and again, because imagine, here are women who are speaking out in Manipur, and thankfully, after all of these days, I admit belatedly, very belatedly, sadly, they have the entire country standing behind them, asking that they be given justice. And then you have women in West Bengal who are speaking out and are officially being told, you are pawns of the BJP, you are nothing but an instrument of the BJP to defame the Trinamool Congress. The crime is the same. The loss of dignity is the same. And now imagine the predicament of these two sets of women, where they are standing. What's the difference? That one is on this side of the political divide, one is on the other side of the political divide. So you must listen to this woman and her husband again.
আমার ওয়াইফকে ক্যান্ডিডেট আমি করেছিলাম। আমি এই বুথে এই অঞ্চলের শক্তি কেন্দ্রের প্রমুখ বিজেপির পক্ষ থেকে। আমি এই ঘটনা কোনোদিন চোখে দেখিনি। আমি এই ঘটনা নিয়ে কোনো রকম কিছু বলতে পারছি না। ঘটনার সময় অনেক কিছু তো ঘটনা ঘটে গেছে, কি বলবো এসব নিয়ে কিছু বলতে গেলে। আমি যে এলাকায় বাস করি, আমার বাস করা খুব কঠিন ব্যাপার। আপনারা এসছেন আমার কাছে ভালো, আজকে আমি বাড়িতে দাঁড়িয়ে আপনাদের কাছে স্টেটমেন্ট দিচ্ছি, কিন্তু আমি এলাকায় বেরোতে গেলে আমার ভয় হচ্ছে। আমার ছোট ছোট ছেলে মেয়ে, তাদের ঘরে কী করে বাঁচাবো? আমার ছেলেদের ঘরে যদি না বাঁচাতে পারি, আমার ছোটো ছোটো ছেলে মেয়েরা স্কুল যাচ্ছে, এ করছে, কী করে যাবে? যে স্কুল যে জায়গায়, সেই জায়গায় যেন আমার মনে হচ্ছে পাকিস্তানের বর্ডার। দল আমার পাশে আছে, দল থাকবে। না না, সেরকম আমার কাছে কোনো খবর নেই। পুলিশ কোনো কিছু কাজ করছে বলে আমার কাছে কোনো খবর নেই।
তো বারবার ধরে আর বলতে পারছি না, তবুও বলছি। সেই দিনকেও মানে বুথ থেকে আমাকে টেনে হিজড়ে চুলের মুঠি ধরে সিঁড়ি থেকে ফেলে দিয়েছিল, আমার আঁচলটা ধরে টেনে ছিঁড়ে দিয়েছিল। আমি পাশের বাড়ি একজনের কাছ থেকে গিয়ে একটা কাপড় ছিঁড়ে পরে আসি বাড়িতে। এটুকুনি আমার বলা, আমি আর বেশি কিছু বলতে পারছি না।
আর তোমার স্বামী কোথায় ছিল ওই দিন?
আমার স্বামী না থাকলে হয়তো আমাকে অন্য কিছু করেই ফেলতো। আমার স্বামী গিয়ে সেই মুহূর্তে আমাকে টেনে নিয়ে চলে আসে ওই জায়গা থেকে।
ওই জন্য তুমি এফআইআর করেছিলে?
হ্যাঁ, করেছিলাম।
এবার আগে
Okay, let me open this up. Let me also bring in Colonel Hani Bakshi, the DMK, Samajwadi Party, and the Congress in this. Let me first ask you, Colonel Hani Bakshi, if we are talking purely about Manipur, as somebody who has extensive knowledge of the area, such a crime is not commonplace in the state. What do you think is the way forward? Is there a possibility of reconciliation between communities, or is politics making it worse?
Padmaja, Jai Hind. The reconciliation is the final thing that is supposed to be done. But there has been a strife between the communities, and it has historically been there. It is not that it is something new. Only thing is that in this situation, what has happened now, that is the question. And I had earlier also discussed in another channel where I had said that the ex-servicemen can be collected together from various communities. Unfortunately, what I have been told now is that amongst those two ladies who were molested and publicly stripped, one of them is an army subadar's wife. That's the most disgusting thing that I could have ever heard of. And the way the cookies are preparing themselves nowadays, they are training their men, the village people, they are making new weapons, they're getting in weapons. It's getting a little difficult for reconciliation as of now. And though the forces are doing their best, the forces have, initially when things went wrong, there were 55 columns or so that were moved in. About thousands and thousands of people were brought in to safe areas. But it is the people who have to sit down. End of the day, the communities have to live there. Unless until they don't sit down together, it's a no return as of now. It's a sad situation.
Do you think that it would have been easier to have some kind of trust building had political interference not happened? One, without a doubt, the state government sat on its hands. The police's role is under severe scrutiny. But the political handling of this, how do you see that, sir?
See, there are two sides to a situation. As I always believed that Northeast was not very well covered by the media. Now that the media has gone into it, they must also read into it as to how much the state, in a situation that flared up, a lot has been done by the state government and the central government. I will not deny it. The deaths could have been much more had there been no timely interference or intervention by the army and the Assam Rifles. Now, the problem area in Manipur is that there are small pockets in bigger areas. In Kuki areas, there are pockets of Meiteis who are at threat. In the Meitei areas, there are pockets of Kukis who are at threat. And these are the places which need to be protected immediately. In fact, there should have been forces moved in, central forces, CAPFs if possible, because AFSPA, in part of Manipur, there is no AFSPA. There are parts of Manipur, there is AFSPA. If the army moves into the AFSPA area, then the community of that area will say that the army is biased against them and they are trying to protect the Meiteis. If they move into Meitei areas, then so the best result was that immediately they should have, though people were pulled out, people were taken into safe places, but yet there are places there which, the villages should have been given some kind of a protection. But unfortunately, the way the ladies have worked there, Meera Paibis, it is nothing new. We have faced it earlier also. And believe me, there have been instances where the ladies have themselves stripped themselves in front of the forces to ensure that the forces look the other side. And this kind of a threat started this time also. There's nothing new. But it is sad that this kind of a situation had happened and women have been, targeted. It's very, very wrong. It's shameful, actually. It's shameful for the humanity.
There are many, many very complex issues which are at play over here. The communities, the role of the police, and there is an unfortunate undertone to all of this that, it's the unsaid, unfortunate truth, which is that right now, and everyone that I've spoken to across the board in Manipur says this openly, whether it be politicians, whether it be the police, whether it be even the state administration, everyone has been divided along community lines. Meitei MLAs are not talking to Kuki MLAs. Those ministers of the same government who are Meiteis and Kukis are not talking to each other. The same applies to the police. In a situation like this, when you insert a dangerous dose of politics, imagine what a poisonous cocktail you are cooking up over there. Let me bring you in, Mr. Syed Hafiz, Dr. Syed Hafiz. Do you think that when Parliament sits, all of today morning, we had an attempt to try and start a debate in Parliament. There were repeated disruptions. Ultimately, Rajnath Singh said, you lack seriousness. You just want to make it into a political issue. Purely on the issue of crimes against women and a very important state, which is under a very difficult cloud right now. Can there be a bipartisan discussion?
Absolutely, Padmaja. The point here, put out by the army person here, I welcome it, that there should be a reconciliation. But the reconciliation is the final and the only step that can bring peace into Manipur. But for that, we need trust from the people who are ruling the government, both the center and the state. See, our Prime Minister, who has time to launch Vande Bharat trains, which an ordinary station master can flag off, but the Prime Minister goes there, but he is absent in the Lok Sabha when this issue is being discussed. That is the problem. How do you want the people of Manipur to trust when Prime Minister is not ready to answer to the Parliament? When such an important issue.
The Prime Minister spoke yesterday, and today the Defence Minister said the government is willing to have a debate. The government today said that we are willing to have a debate.
Padmaja, he spoke outside the Parliament. You have to clearly know what is I'm sure you know what is 267.
Okay, I'm coming back to you, Ms. Verma. Just give him 30 seconds. Yes.
No, you cannot speak what you will. You have to speak what the question is put to you. You have to answer the question. It is not a man ki baat or not a Mount ki baat. There should be sense in what you're saying. I am here, see, I am not politicizing. I am telling you a way to reconciliation. I am just putting the onus on the Prime Minister, who is the only person who can fix this situation today. He should come and answer to the Member of Parliament.
Okay, respond, Sanju Verma. They want to debate inside Parliament and they want to hear from the Prime Minister inside Parliament. Yes, go on. Sanju Verma.
Now, I will say this because, you know,
something big to ask for.
Sanju Verma.
You know, Padmaja, the key narrative, you know, obviously nobody condones what happened. I'm saying let the strictest punishment be given to those perpetrators. No ifs or buts whatsoever. Let the state government be held accountable. I'm the national spokesperson of BJP, but I'm also a thinking, empowered woman. And I speak today as a citizen, as a woman, and as the national spokesperson of the world's largest, political organization. Now, having said all this, it's very important for me to tell you this, that the Kukis largely reside in hilly areas like Churachandpur, and the Nighties have been residing in the plains. An interesting change that has happened in the last couple of years, which nobody has seen, is that the Kukis occupy 60% of the geography of Manipur, whereas they account for only 10 to 20% of the state's population. In the case of Meiteis, they account for 60 to 70% of the state's population, but occupy or reside in barely 10 to 20% of Manipur's landmass. And I'm not saying this. Certain experts have been making
Ma'am, answer the question about reconciliation and statement inside Parliament.
So on reconciliation, my statement is this, that be it Amit Shah, the Home Minister, be it N. Biren Singh, the Chief Minister, or Prime Minister Modi, we are trying to ensure that there's a dialogue between the Kukis, the Nagas, and the Meiteis, the three main communities in Manipur. And the basic problem started when the Meitei community demanded via a peaceful march on the 3rd of May that they want scheduled tribe status. And we have to find a way to reconcile what the Meiteis want. And let me tell you one more thing.
Political reconciliation, they are asking for an all-party delegation and a statement inside Parliament. That is the question.
Padmaja, I heard your question. Let me finish, because I've been listening to the TMC for the last 20 minutes. I barely got my time to intervene. I have this to say, that the basic thing here is to ensure that there is a plausible solution with respect to giving scheduled tribe status to the Meitei community. But what the Kukis want by way of a semi-autonomous region is something that cannot be tolerated. So the government will have to call the various stakeholders for a discussion. And what statement needs to be made in Parliament, that the government has already said we will do. But the Modi government will not have a gun to its head and wait for the opposition to dictate kab Modi ji ko bolna hai, Parliament ke andar bolna hai ya bahar bolna hai. Aap ho kaun? Why will you dictate what the Prime Minister has to say, or do.
Okay, Dr. Syed Hafiz, respond to that. Then I want to go to Samajwadi Party
Yes,
and
this is
Kapil
a
Madan.
democracy. We have the right to demand. No, this is
You
absolutely.
first accept that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also your Prime Minister.
We are elected
You
by the
keep
people of
abusing the Prime
India.
Minister.
We are a
you
member
keep
of the
upsetting
parliament.
him.
We demand an
Only
explanation
on
from the Prime
television
Minister.
debates you
This
say
very
Narendra
attitude
Modi
is the
is
reason for why
Prime
Manipur is
Minister.
burning. You
Aapke
don't want to
Pradhan
answer.
Mantri hai to Prime Modi
The Prime Minister goes on to talk about Kerala story when Manipur is burning. He conveniently forgot the Manipur story. This attitude of you is burning India and dividing India. This should end. The BJP spokesperson cannot be so arrogant.
Okay, Dr. Syed Hafiz, Syed Hafiz, legitimate demand. You want to hear from the government and you are angry because the dignity of women is obviously very important, right? And it has angered you greatly because that has been hurt, correct?
Yes.
Do you think it was correct on the part of your chief minister to go to the house of a man who has been accused of sexual assault by multiple women to wish him on his 50th birthday?
Padmaja, to bring it to the notice, there is no official complaint except for the media. We have told 100 times for the victims, we will stand with the victims. Please come to the police. I again, on your show, bring it to the notice of the people who have been affected by him allegedly. Please come to the police station. I will fix an appointment with the DGP. Being a spokesperson of the DMK, we will take action if an official complaint is made. This is simple. This is on black and white, I'm telling you. If this is what you want to talk, rather than talking real issues, where the dignity of women is burned,
I want to talk about all
Prime
issues.
Minister is not
To me,
present in the
all
Lok
issues
Sabha
are real
for a
issues, sir, because also remember that the one woman who spoke out most stridently was boycotted by the Sound Recorders organization. But anyhow, I think that is a more extensive debate I would love for you to have if you would come on that panel. Just pointing out that right now you are hanging on technicalities like there is no official complaint. Anyhow, just pointing it out, just putting it out there. Let me bring in Kapil Madan and Sanju Verma now. I want to go back to Colonel Hani Bakshi as well. Kapil Madan, the question asked was by the Congress, rightly so. Today, we had Priyanka Gandhi talking about it in Gwalior as well. I want to play out for you actually what an MLA of the Congress, a lady MLA of the Congress, said in Rajasthan when she was questioned about the death of 4 people in the state. Listen.
I think the IGs जो हैं वो बिल्कुल ही उनकी अप्रोच ठीक नहीं है और उनकी वजह से जोधपुर में क्राइम कंट्रोल नहीं हो रहा है और आईजी को तुरंत पीएचक्यू बुला लेना चाहिए और फील्ड पोस्टिंग्स हटाएं आप। अगर हमला हुआ तो फिर सुरक्षित कैसी हूं मैं? तो 2 बात तो नहीं कर सकते ना हम। अगर हमला हुआ तो सुरक्षित नहीं हूं और मेरे पे जिसने हमला किया वो खुलेआम घूम रहे हैं, मेरे घर के आगे से निकलते हैं रोज।
Kapil Madan, an MLA Divya Maderna is saying मेरे ऊपर हमला हुआ था. A woman MLA of the Congress in a Congress ruled state is saying मेरे ऊपर हमला हुआ था, जिन लोगों ने हमला किया वो मेरे घर के सामने से गुजरते हैं. I am not safe in my own state.
So Padmaja, allow me to first respond to what Sanju said. Sanju said that, it is Prime Minister's discretion whether he wants to speak in the Parliament, whether he wants to speak out of the Parliament, and who are we to ask explanation from the Prime Minister. So I just want to ask Sanju here, and I will ask this question to the viewers here. जब ये वैक्सीन की बात करते हैं तो ये शहर शहर गली गली ये पोस्टर लगवा देते हैं.
Sir, can you please answer on Divya Maderna because a very sensitive issue on who cares and whether you really care for women's safety or politics. You can have all your political debates. We sit here every day and have political debates. Just answer me on Divya Maderna that while you rightly ask questions of what is happening in Manipur, can you please answer Divya Maderna because she hasn't got answers so far. Just answer her and then ask your question. Full time to you. Ask your question to Sanju Verma. Just answer Divya Maderna.
Now, Padmaja, yes, I am answering. Now, if you compare it with what has happened in Unnao, is this the case where the Supreme Court has to intervene, where the state was not taking any action? they were
so does it make it better? Does it make it better?
Situation?
Does every woman in Rajasthan today think Divya Maderna doesn't feel safe, but at least it's not Hathras, right? So we are all okay. It's all good.
पद्मजा मैं जवाब दे रहा हूं, पद्मजा मैं आपको जवाब दे रहा हूं, पद्मजा मैं आपको आपकी बात का जवाब दे रहा हूं. You have to allow me to. Yes. Now Sanju Verma's party colleague Brij Bhushan Singh, he now continues and he is attending
Answer
parliament.
Divya Maderna.
He is the same person.
Answer Divya Maderna, sir.
Several wrestlers have filed.
I have sat here myself, done 20 debates on Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh.
Now,
answer Divya Maderna.
Now, I am answering Divya Maderna. If there is any incident and if the state has not taken any action, or if the state is denying, justifying, or is helping the accused, then yes, you have a question. She has rightly asked the question. Every person who faces any kind of a threat, he is well entitled. It is all his right to seek an explanation from the government. And if the state government does not act, you go to the court. The court will come heavy on the state. The court has done it in the past.
Hold on a second.
All I am trying to say.
Hold on a second. Why are you just asking for questions, for answers here? You said if there is a breakdown and there is no redressal to victims in Manipur, the CM should resign. So by your logic, the CM of Rajasthan should resign. The CM of West Bengal should resign.
Yeah.
Because an MLA is saying that I did not get redressal to my complaint. The CM should resign by your logic.
Now Padmaja, yes. Now Padmaja, you are trying to compare, two which are completely distinct situation. Now in Manipur, you have a situation where more than 100 people have died. People don't have access to food. People don't have access to internet. An incident that has happened on 4th of May, and as per the reports, those girls were in the police custody, and these mob got them released from the police custody, and then they did whatever they did. So now you trying to compare these two situations. I don't understand how are these two situations similar.
I am
not saying that your question should not be asked.
Yes, in gravity, Manipur is heinous.
Question needs to be asked.
Question is definitely being asked.
Should be asked.
I said at the outset, question should definitely be asked, is being asked, and will continue to be asked of Biren Singh. And let me say for the 5th time on this show that he has completely failed in his duty of upholding law and order, as has the police in the state of Manipur. That being said, when you question him, also save a little bit of time and concern for what is happening in other states. Manoj Kaka, what do you think is the way forward for all parties seeking accountability across states for women's safety? मनोज काका जी.
बिल्कुल पद्मजा जी, सभी राजनीतिक दलों का, और मैं समझता हूं कि सरकारों का भी, विपक्ष का भी, आपके सवाल ठीक है. सबकी जिम्मेदारी होनी चाहिए कि इस देश में महिला की सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी हो. लेकिन उस राज्य में, जिस राज्य में विगत 2 महीने से ऊपर से माताओं बहनों को जलाया जा रहा हो, उनके साथ जो नग्नता की जो तस्वीरें आई, पूरी दुनिया में देश शर्मसार हुआ. और उस प्रधानमंत्री से सवाल करा, जो प्रधानमंत्री वैश्विक यात्रा पर भी जाते हैं तो किसी अभिनेता से, अभिनेत्री से मिल लेते हैं. जो प्रधानमंत्री सोशल मीडिया पे बहुत सजग रहते हैं, वो प्रधानमंत्री 2 महीने से जलते हुए मणिपुर को नहीं देख पाए. जहां के महामहिम राज्यपाल महोदया ने और मुख्यमंत्री ने तो पद्मजा एक चैनल पर यह बयान दिया कि ये एक घटना नहीं है, वहां इस तरह की 100 से ज्यादा घटना है. स्वयं मुख्यमंत्री ने कहा. और मैं आपके चैनल के माध्यम से समाजवादी पार्टी, मैतेई, कुकी, नागा सभी भाइयों से निवेदन करती है कि आपस में संवाद करिए. ये सरकारें आपका समाधान नहीं कर सकती. ये सरकार अगर मणिपुर में सीटें ज्यादा होती और प्रधानमंत्री भी अगर देश में हाउस न चलने वाला होता 19 को, तो उस नग्नता भरी और भयावह आई हुई तस्वीरों पर भी उनकी हृदयहीनता कम नहीं होती और नरेंद्र मोदी जी नहीं बोलते.
आपने सही बोला मनोज काका जी कि लोगों को आपस में बात करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि नेता अपने हिसाब से चूज करते हैं कि कौन सा कॉज उसको उठाना चाहिए और कौन सा उनको नजरअंदाज कर देना चाहिए. बिफोर आई रैप अप, एक छोटा सा रिमाइंडर आपको भी दे करके जाती हूं. वो रिमाइंडर है 3rd of June 2014. हीनस रेप and murder of 2 sisters had taken place in Badaयूं. I remember this because I was there in Badaयूं at that time reporting on it. And when Akhilesh Yadav, the then chief minister, was questioned about this double murder by a reporter, you know what he said? He said, "आप तो safe है ना उत्तर प्रदेश में? जाइए देश को बताइए कि उत्तर प्रदेश कितना safe है." I'm going to leave it as some food for thought that when you get involved in outrage, please remember that a large part of this outrage, when it comes from politicians, is driven by their own political interest. They don't care for you. They don't care for those women. They care only for how far it will get them ahead. You be angry and demand accountability. Don't believe them. Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks, Sanju Verma.